Group 1 racing, the pinnacle of our sport. Group 1s are the platform from which the future thoroughbred heroes announce themselves.
Alamosa with the best run you've ever seen got the prize.
Where superstars are unearthed.
Excellent ranged up on the outside. Oh, he is a superstar.
And where the extraordinary become immortal.
Ring the bell, Melody's back in town, and that is 14 Group 1s, the all-time greatest Group 1 winner.
These races don't just honour history, they redefine it.
Ginger Nuts has dunked them in the derby.
For equine athletes, masterful trainers, and fearless jockeys, this is the ultimate test, a rare stage, a fleeting chance at glory. But on Saturday at Ellerslie, 4 races bear the coveted Group 1 status. Speed.
It's Return to Conquer in front.
Determination.
She's back in the winning groove, orchestral.
Stamina.
El Vencedor, he's got another Group 1 at Ellerslie.
Class.
And she is back and back big time class.
4 qualities needed for victory. 4 races to be decided. 1 unforgettable Champions Day.
It's the pinnacle of our sport, isn't it? Group 1 racing, and on Saturday we get to see the 4 Group 1s coming out of Champions Day at Ellerslie. Welcome into part 2 of our Champions Day preview, and in this show we get a real deep dive into our 3 Group 1 features left. Of course, last night we saw the New Zealand Derby and NZB Kiwi form show, but tonight it's all about those 3 Group 1s. And as I say, a very good evening to all of you. George Simon, Lee Thinnis, Bevan Sweeney, great to have you with me. And there really is something for everyone when it comes to Champions Day and those Group 1s.
Absolutely, and very good evening to the team and to you at home. When you talk El Vencedor, Orchestral, Crescetti, Alabama Lass, you're in for a treat on Saturday.
Certainly am. Big match up again, Alabama Lass, Crescetti. And we've done a lot to forget about the 2-year-old race. Tiaka held a very good hand in the race, and it's great to see these great jockeys back in force.
We need to see these good horses out competing in the Group 1 races, and we'll get that opportunity on Saturday at Ellerslie on Champions Day. And yeah, it was fantastic to preview those races last night, but the Group 1s, that's where it's all at.
It certainly is where it's all at. Let's find out what we're going to be really sinking our teeth into in terms of the show this evening. And of course, it really is highlighted by El Vencedor, who's going for 3 straight victories in Group 1 company. Can he take out the Bonecrusher New Zealand Stakes? We also have a very, very short price favourite when it comes to the fillies, and Mares Legato is back. She's a hot favourite to take Group 1 glory. And when we look at the 2-year-old race, the Sistema Stakes, well, Tiakau have a strong hand. They go head-to-head with the filly La Dorada and the colt Return to Conquer. And how could we forget about the Auckland Cup? Will it be a local victory on Australian Raider that'll take out top honours? And we can't forget about the sprinters in the King's Plate. Crescetti headlines a quality group of horses when it comes to our sprinting action. All of that to look forward to this evening. We're going to be kicking things off with a little bit of a look at the weather, and of course things pretty much the same as you would have heard last night. Just that light rain earlier in the week, Tuesday night. Good for the rail is in the true position. Let's start with the market for the Bonecrusher, the Group 1 Bonecrusher New Zealand Stakes. And as you can see, El Vencedor, a very short priced favourite, $1.90. Just drifted a touch out to $1.95. He's been incredible of late, George, with what he's been able to do. He's really been dominant. He's been just putting his best foot forward, hasn't he?
He has, and the manner in which he's winning his races too has really captured the imagination of the racing public. But he's up against a couple of very talented mares too, and Lark Creek and particularly Orchestral. But he does love Ellerslie, as we know, the big EV, and he's going to give a wonderful sight.
I love the field for this. We need to talk about the speed map, because it is pretty significant, isn't it, when it comes to the race. El Vencedor, we know where we can expect to find him.
Yeah, look, I think in this small field, I think the key to the race is he probably only looks like the natural leader in the race. And when the big EV now, he's had 5 starts at Ellerslie for 4 wins and a placing. Look, I think Billy Pinn, he's the one who's going to control the tempo on the race, and it means Orchestral, natural back marker, she's going to be giving him a fair big head start over this race.
Oh, I agree. El Vencedor leads, Kylie Alfarasha sits behind him, then you've got La Creek smoking just maybe one off them, Orchestra on the back, and it's just whether they make their move in enough time. Emily to catch EV, who's absolutely flying.
Yeah, talking of El Vencedor absolutely flying, let's cast our mind back to his last race day start. It was incredibly impressive in the Otaki Māori weight for age. You can see here, he did end up settling just in behind the tempo, didn't he? And just powered away when needed.
Yeah, no one sort of saw this. Billy was on him, he rode him very confidently. Everyone sort of mapped him to see him sort of outside the leader. But he just won with a bit in hand too. Obviously he was backing up from Tarapa a week later, and he's just got better and better.
Just showed another string to his bow this day, didn't he? Just sitting off the speed. I suppose with Bell clear in the race, there wasn't really that option to go forward and be really in a fight early.
His last 3 margins, I mean, he's been winning by lengths, so look, we know what we're going to get with him now. He loves Ellerslie, and yeah, he's had one want for a win on him as well.
I love it how at the moment he's coming into the top of the straight. He's actually sucking himself up like a warrior and just saying, I am off. He's absolutely flying, Georgie.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, I just love his racing manner as well. He, as I said before, he goes to the front, he can dominate. Although, interestingly, they didn't go to the front over the shorter distance last time. And, but he didn't make any result to the, didn't make any difference to the result. He was still very dominant.
He was. So obviously last start he was dropping back to the mile, and if we cast our minds back a start prior, he was seen over 2,000 metres in the Herbie Dyke Stakes, some of the best 2,000 metre weight for age form in the country, and he just skipped away, didn't he? It was pretty much a job done, and he's done it impressively. We know he loves racing too, doesn't he?
Like he does. He's one of those big gross horses where his fitness levels are really up there at the moment. Obviously La Creek was Graham in defeat. She maps to get a nice run, just not so far off him. But I just keep going back. The form he's in, I'm just not quite sure how they're going to beat him.
Well, they turned to the straight. There wasn't a lot between him and La Creek, and he actually sprinted away, showed a better turn of foot. Like, he obviously takes a couple of runs to come up, but once he finds form, it takes a long time into his preparation before he knocks off, and I couldn't be more impressed. He's really blown my mind, this preparation.
I guess the only difference is Orchestral steps up in distance, and that's maybe what she's been crying out for. Can she be more effective at the 2,000?
I think she can. I think she's just been crying out for the 2,000 metres. As much as I love EV and love calling him, I'm going to tip against them this week, because I think Orchestral, have a look at the last 100 metres of their race at Ellerslie the other day, and finally, from the stable, they're saying the right things. They're saying that she's right in the zone. I think she's been off her best over the last 3 or 4 starts, but I think she's back. I think she's really back.
Yeah, look, obviously last start she was held up at a vital stage at the top of the straight as well, and like you said, George, the 2,000 metres, she's been looking for it. It does, to me, it looks like a match race.
It's just that tactical advantage that he brings to this race, and I agree 100% with George that the 2,000 metres suits her so much better. Whether she's going to absolute peak that we saw last preparation, I'm not 100% sure, but I know that El Vencedor is, so I'm happy to go with him against Orchestral, but I think the market's got it right in. They're very, very close. It's
going to be a great clash, isn't it, in the Bonecrusher Group 1 weight for age. Let's get you to the grabs from the trainers. We want to find out right from the source how these horses are preparing ahead of Saturday.
Comes through really good. As I always say, he looks as good after a race as he does before it. He's a very hard horse to dent. Still no sign of any ribs yet. But yeah, he's bright, happy. He's galloped this morning. He worked up this morning just over 1,400 by himself, pulled up good and clean. So basically ready to go.
Obviously, we know he's got that dot on the back as part of his colours, but they really are a target now. Everyone wants to undo him. Do you feel the pressure with that?
No, look, he's a horse that he can jump and lead. He can take a sit. The thing about him, he puts himself sort of on the speed, which generally takes bad luck out of the equation. Look, he's a great horse. It's really come right this sort of campaign end of last season. But no, he's if he's got a target on his back, yeah, good luck.
Yeah, she's driving. She's absolutely flying. She got held up for a few strides over the mile last time out. Her closing sectionals were super. 2,000's really going to suit, but clearly El Vencedor is going to be hellish hard to beat. So, she's going to have to be on her best form, but she is absolutely flying.
What have you asked of her in training since that last run?
Look, she sort of does it all herself. She's worked really nicely this morning, hard on the bridle, ran 40. Her regular riders very, very happy with her. As I say, couldn't be happier with the mare, but we're going to have to be really happy with her for her to be running El Vencedor down.
Yeah, obviously, you see El Vencedor here, and I'm sure there's a bit of banter with Stephen Marsh at the track. How do you go about beating him?
Yeah, well, surely they've had their turn this season. Look, I don't think we can change too much with our mare. Unfortunately, she can be a little bit slow out of the barriers, but hopefully we can draw a gate and just not be too far off him at the corner. He obviously tactically puts himself well in the race, and he's just been so good. But look, if things go our way, we're very happy with our mare. But we're just going to have to see on the day.
Probably very stiff not to sort of be a bit closer there. Ryan thought if he hadn't had the checkered run, he would have been right in it. But he's in really good form here in New Zealand. He seems to be enjoying the lifestyle here. We've freshened him up back to the 2000, so we haven't done a lot with him. But he's racing in really good form. He's shown he can perform at Alizé. It's probably obviously a real throw at the stumps. We're probably running for third if on the form.
It's going to be a tough field. But kind of when you have a horse capable to race in those Group 1s, you go for it. And if he can run up to how he did last start, then he is capable of running close. But it will be tough.
What's he done in the interim to gear up for the weekend?
We haven't done too much work until this morning, and he had a good 1200 metre gallop, and he'll have another one on Thursday, and that should just tighten him up, just enough to keep him fresh for that 2000, but fit enough.
All right, time for our selections from the team. Bevan Sweeney, we'll start with you. Who are you liking ahead of the Bonecrusher?
I'll stick with El Vencedor just on the map. I think there's very little between El Vencedor or Kestrel. Happy if either of those win. I feel a little bit bad as though we've missed La Creek. She deserves another Group 1. She'll be right there as well. Didn't know for fourth. I went with the Kaliel Farasha just on the map, but if Fongo, who gets any sort of tempo, that horse is going really well for Billy Thurlow as well.
Yeah, I certainly think it's a race into. I've got El Vencedor on top. I think the key to the race is when Billy lets him loose. Look, if Orchestral's giving him 4 lengths or 5 lengths at the 600, it's going to make it awfully tough to pick her up. Sort of found a spot, obviously, La Creek for third, and Midnight Blue, like Sam Bergerson said, he was very unlucky last start, and he can run a big race at Wait for Age.
Yeah, I'm going to go for Orchestral to turn the tables on EV, as much as it pains me to say so, but I just think the 2,000 metres, and importantly, it's a small field. She won't be that far off him on the home turn because Grills will start moving and to try and get her closer to El Vencedor. It's a fascinating contest. Definitely 7 Orchestral on top. EV will probably win now, and it wouldn't surprise me. Low Creek, she's racing so well. And Fongai Hu was a real eye-catcher in the Herbie Diketters last start.
Well, that's the selections of the team. We're going to get you to a break, and the Bonecrusher really has thrown up some incredible winners over the years. Cast your mind back. It's a good horses race.
A Kiwi sporting icon. His deeds etched in history, etched in bronze. The mighty Bonecrusher. His legacy lives on with a race befitting his legendary status. A race he won twice. Sounds like fun, Bonecrusher, and Bonecrusher got there. The Bonecrusher New Zealand Stakes. A good horses race. Balmerino in the 70s. McGinty's back-to-back triumphs in the 80s. McGinty's in front, he's going to win his second here in New Zealand, he's bolted in.
Just to name a few.
Often in this game, there are stories of what could have been. None more so than this guy. Excellent. He won it in 2005 at just his 4th race day start. Have a look at the next superstar in New Zealand racing. His name is Excellent, 4 from 4 and a dual Group 1 winner against the best in the business here in New Zealand. And he has dished it up to them. There weren't many more popular than 2008 winner Sir Slick in his heyday. He's going clear Slick on the inside, Designer and Ombre Rose. He's got it. Sir Slick, he's a marvel. J-Mac and Scarlet Lady in 2012, the horse who helped him to his first Australian Group 1 win. Scarlet Lady going home just slightly the better. It's another Group 1 for James McDonald, the jockey of the carnival. A year later, it was this bloke that blew them away. Nowadays, a pin-up boy for one of New Zealand's leading thoroughbred nurseries. Ocean Park back to his brilliant best. He showed that dazzling turn of foot that we know he possesses. Silent Achiever in 2014. She's back in Group 1 winning form at Ellerslie. Silent Achiever through to Prowess in 2023. Well, she's got a Group 1. Prowess. They bookend a decade of female dominance. And amongst that were two of the most talented in Tangerine. But thank you, linesman. Thank you, boys. It is Avontage to win the Bonecrusher. Ring the bell, Melody's back in town, and that is 14 Group 1s, the all-time greatest. It would be her final career victory and a moment in New Zealand racing history. Last year, a class mare was upstaged by the Stephen Marsh-trained El Vencedor, EV to his mates, in a bold front-running display. Legato can't pick up El Vencedor, and Joe Doyle have won the Bonecrusher New Zealand Stakes. There's no such thing as certainties in racing. He's back this year to try and defend his crown and to replicate the feats of the mighty Bonecrusher.
Just watch me dance.
Wow, way off she goes, ladies and gentlemen. This nimble filly is a Guinea star. Legato as easy as you like. The filly Legato is driving at them and got up. The filly, the Kiwi, Legato.
Legato just in front from Campionessa. At her first start over ground, she's won. What else would you expect, Legato? But here she comes, Legato. She's been away for a long time, but she's back big time, baby.
Oh yeah, it's just stunning. I've got no words to describe it. You know, just away from the races for 12 months, one exhibition gallop, Tauranga, and you know, what a horse she is.
Oh, she's good, isn't she? Legato back to her brilliant best at Mata Mata last time, and we're looking forward to seeing her take her place as a short price favourite in the Group 1, the Thoroughbred Breeders' Stakes for the fillies and mares weight for age. Here's a look at the market, and George, it's pretty much one-way traffic, isn't it, into Legato, and understandably.
Understandably, she was so impressive fresh up on a very light preparation leading into that race at Mata Mata, but the way she won it, you just had to see it to believe it. And 155, I'm sure there'll be some big punters saying there's still a little bit of value in that. Conasana 650, and double figure odds for the remainder of the field.
I guess if one thing could beat her in the race, it could be luck. And we need to know from the speed map, how does she place? Where does she fit in?
Yeah, certainly when the draws come out, barrier 3 looked like a little bit of a negative, but then you go through the form of the race. There's potential to beat 3 or 4 leaders. So look, Town Cry from barrier 1, Merchant Queen goes full for Cindy, Belclair from the outside. This race is going to be run at really strong tempo, which, you know, she's going to get backed behind midfield, but barrier 3 is probably not as bad as it first looked.
Absolutely agree. You go bang, 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 pure tempo in this race, superstar mare in the race. Happy to go with her at $1.55.
Alrighty, well that is a look at the speed map. Let's talk about her most recent run. We want to cast our minds back to the Lisa Chittick Champagne Stakes at Mata Mata, and you can see her there just coming wide on the track, and George, at this point, doesn't she just let down incredibly well?
What that replay doesn't show is the fact that she was wide all the way. And this is her first run for such a long time, Leith, and man, look at it, just power to the line. She's probably come to the end of it, about 50 metres off the line, but understandably so, but class, it's permanent.
Well, it just showed the class of Kim and Bev Kelso as well. She came into this with 1 exhibition gallop and 4 gallops with that big long break. And look, this is a day where they were winning hard on the inside and horses couldn't make ground all day. And look, the race panned out pretty good for her. There was nice solid tempo on, but she came back after this race and you could have put a watermelon down her back. She blew up so much. So she's got so much natural improvement.
Yeah, it certainly looks like.
Yeah, well, I was there as just a spectator at the 200-metre mark for the day, and I just watched leader after leader blow past me, and then that race went past, and I thought, different gravy, and I think she just looks different gravy here, Em.
The only thing I would say is she started a very short price favourite at Ellerslie a lot of times, and it hasn't necessarily been her happiest hunting ground.
Yeah, it's probably been her little bit of a bogey trap. Look, one day she got knocked over the winning post, and that's when she got beat. She has won there before, but I just think the map of the race sets so well for her, where there is so much speed, even if she's midfield on the inside. She's nearly 17 hands high. Ryan knows her so well. Now, he's going to come out somewhere and give her a clear run of them.
That's the thing. That's the thing that people don't appreciate is just how big she is. You see her in the flesh, man. She is a beast, and she's nearly 17 hands high. Which you see her go around, and you think, oh, she's an average size mare, but she's built like Lee Thinnes.
2 from 2 second up, so I'd be, maybe worried deeper into the preparation. I'm not worried on Saturday, even with an inside gate. She's the one to beat. I don't think there's any doubt.
We need to look at some of the other contenders. Even if Legato is the one to beat, there's certainly value in behind her. Here's a look at Conasana winning. This was also a very tough victory. Talk us through this.
Yeah, obviously this was her first run coming into New Zealand. She was hard fit for this. Obviously it was weight for age, fillies and mares, and there wasn't much between it. Rory Hutchins actually threw her over the line, and it was just great to see Chris Waller bring a horse back to New Zealand and win his first race here for such a long time.
I thought immensely brave. Fresh up, second up, I thought she battled on okay. Every time I look through this race, I just come back to the top of the book with Legato. Look, I've got a sneaking suspicion Bill Clare was to get back to her very best, and it was very much on speed. She could be pretty dangerous in this sort of scenario, but she doesn't quite seem to be there at this moment. But I couldn't see the Conasana weight for age race stacking up against Legato myself.
Well, let's find out straight from the trainers what they think. And Brendan Popwell, he was out and about and he caught out with the man of the moment, Ken Kelso.
Yeah, she's the same. She went to Matamata and had an exhibition gallop on Saturday. Ryan rode her and was very pleased with the way she worked.
What sort of work does she do in the interim of this week leading up to Saturday?
She had a sort of work this morning. She sort of worked 1,200 metres steadily and improved all the way and quickened home. Came home in about 36. So, no, it was nice work. She had a really good head out on Saturday, so just needs some maintenance work today.
There was always going to be that natural improvement off what she did first up, and she won that race, so she'll be clearly in a very nice spot coming into the weekend then.
Yeah, no, very happy with her. She's really tightened up since the race of Matamata, for such a long time before she'd raced there, so it's going to be general improvement from there. So, no, very, very pleased with her performance and the way she's going since then.
Yeah, she's good. She's also as fit as she's going to be. Haven't had to do too much with her to keep her fit, just keep her fresh. She has no problem eating. She loves her food. So yeah, no, she's good.
Yeah, probably a bit disappointing down there at Trentham. We gave her a good freshen up. The group had listed trial at Taupo, sort of sharpened her up. She's coming in with a fresher preparation, which hopefully can turn her form around a bit because she probably needs to improve off previous efforts to match it with the likes of Legato, etc. But look, on her day, she's a Group 1 winning mare and more than capable. So fingers crossed she brings the best version of herself. And if she does, we're confident she can be in it.
You got enough out of the trial? You were keen to be able to put her into that trial to begin with?
Yeah, trialled without the blinkers. She's probably a bit laid back, Kevin thought, up the straight there, and's taking good improvement for her. So hopefully she can go the right way. Yeah, obviously would love to get that Group 1 victory with her. She's, racking up a record of seconds there. So, would love to see her go one better. She's so honest. There's not much of her there. I think she's a stripping 440 kilos. But look, what she lacks in, I suppose, condition, she makes up for in heart. So we haven't had to do too much between the runs. We've kept her nice and fresh. Following that effort there at Ellerslie, she's in really good form, obviously. Ken's mares looks very hard to beat on paper, but we're confident she can give it a good shake, and she always runs well.
Yeah, forget her first run here. She was just out to have a little bit of a day out at Tauranga, and she kind of caught me out a wee bit how casual she had been, so I thought a day out would pick her up, and it pretty much spot on for what we wanted to start off in the Lisa Chiddock plate here. She was quicker.
Yeah, she was. She was really good. How she progressed through the last week and a half to get ready for Saturday.
Yeah, probably wasn't quite on the plan this race, but when we looked through the betting, we thought, she could be right in it, especially the way they were running the races up there. So she's just in the right place at the moment, going in the right direction, and that's always a big help.
Yeah, she's obviously got a very good mare of Ken Kelso's Legato in there. Going to be very hard to handle, I would have thought, the way she won first up at Matamata. But she's going very good. Again, she loves Ellerslie. Her work this morning was very good, I thought. As good a work as I've seen. I thought she was good at Matamata, pretty luckless. but she's been set for this race since the Thorndon, and she's going into it very well.
What about Merchant Queen? How's her build-up been?
Very good. Look, we have a real throughout the stumps with her. She's a filly that can jump and put herself up on speed, and she will get her out of sort of all the, put her in her own sort of area up the front. She could potentially lead. She can run some good sectionals. It'll be a good track. Stepping up to the mile, don't think she'll get any further than a mile, but she's a stakes placed mare, and certainly thought she deserved a crack at the Group 1.
Definitely. What about training? What have you asked of each of them leading in?
Yeah, Merchant Queen doesn't take too much work, so she's just galloped over 1100 on the plough this morning. She was lovely, but she's very clean-winded, and Provence worked up over 1200 in company, and I thought her work was super. As I said, I think it's as good a work as I've seen her do.
Yeah, look, she's a lovely mare, and she's come a long way this season, obviously. Come from a one-win horse right through to obviously taking on some of the best fillies and mares. So, look, she's going to run well again on Saturday. Unfortunately, Legato's in the field yet again. Whether we can beat her, look, I don't know. She's obviously a very classy mare, so she'll run a good, honest race again. She's come a long way, as I said, and she's still in good form.
Yeah, has she progressed since Matamata?
Look, really well. She's a big, robust mare. We haven't needed to do much since Matamata, and she galloped very nicely this morning. So, look, she sort of takes luck out of the equation, puts herself there, and she'll be in the race for a long way.
Yeah, like you say, she's kept raising the bar. Could you do that again? Even up in better company this weekend.
Oh, look, it was a really strong race. The Lisa Chittick, obviously, it was a great race this year, and look, I think she probably can, but look, I'm not holding my breath to beat Legato.
Time for selections on our Group 1 preview, and I'm pretty sure I know who's going to be on top, but Bevan, we'll start with you.
Legato on top. I underrated Provence one day. That was at Trent. They won it on the Thorndon. Won't be doing that again. I thought it was a good run at Matamata. Things went horribly wrong for Town Cry last start. If she can get forward and find a decent sort of spot, she's much better than that last start, as you know. And look, Konasana is tough, so in for fourth, 1-6-4-5.
Yeah, I'm on Legato like everyone else. She's my favourite horse going round, and you just look at her and she is the best looking horse you'd ever see. Konasana, there's no knock on her. She's been awesome the last two runs. Provence, I felt it was a really good run at Matamata. She had nothing go right in the race, and Jaffe was a little bit unlucky last start at Ellerslie as well. So I think you just have Legato on top and go round here with a few multis.
Yeah, that's what you have to do. Legato just wins. You would think so anyway. But yeah, she's the one to beat. She's the class factor in the race. I thought Belclair's ready to strike form again. Konasana's got the form in recent starts as well. And a bit of value is Calico at good odds.
Let's take a look at the next of our Group 1s. And the final Group 1 we preview on the show, it is the 2-year-olds, and Return to Conquer heads up at the market. 240 just come out, a notch out to 245. He Who Dares the single figures. La Dorada, it really is a case of Tiakau going head-to-head, George, and they've had great success in this race over the previous years.
Yes, they have. They buy horses to target these types of races as 2-year-olds, and yeah, they've got a couple here, Return to Conquer and also La Dorada. They've swept all before them in most recent starts. The colt by Schnitzel, Return to Conquer, he's been impressive in his 3 wins, but I've got a lot of respect around the Super Seth filly and La Dorada.
She's been really good, Leith, hasn't she, La Dorada?
Yeah.
And we know she's got speed to put
She's
herself
improved.
there.
She's backed it up for a great win at Matamata. Obviously, Return to Conquer, this is his grand final to win a Group 1. They paid $1.3 million for him, and if he wins that, he could be a stallion in the making for sure. So, look, the map looks a little bit messy. Tiaka will sort of have 3 or 4 runners where they can actually control the tempo. Lucy in the Sky, obviously, she was really good fresh up on her first up start at Ellerslie. Probably looks a natural leader in the race, and look, the Capital has been really well, but it's just where the other horses land. I think it's going to leave Return to Conquer in the best spot that we've seen so far, where he's going to be off speed on a strong tempo, and I think we're going to see something special this week.
Well, they've got that many horses in the race. It just looks as though they can pick these spots, Emily, really. The Tiakau team, they can go forward, let one drop in. That's the advantage of having so many in the race. And I just keep hearing Return to Conquer, Return to Conquer, Return to Conquer. Let's
go back and have a little look at a replay of a couple of these 2-year-olds. And the first of those is Return to Conquer himself. This is, of course, at Matamata. Very impressive against the boys when powering away to a win. But there was a challenge here by He Who Dares.
Yeah, He Who Dares is super. Obviously, it was only his second race day start as well. And look, they drew out. They put a bit of a number on the rest of the field. And Look, the times in the race, they ran nearly just under 2 seconds faster. So on the eye, he looked a little bit just okay. But I think what we're going to see on Saturday is him ridden a little bit quieter, off speed, and I think he's going to unleash at the 200 metres.
Yeah, I take on board that comment because, yeah, you're right. I thought he was entitled to win a little bit more comfortably last time. But look, he's winning. He's a good horse. He is a good horse, and he will be a good horse too. He's going 4 in a row on Saturday in the Sistema. That's why they brought him to win a Group 1 as a stallion, possible stallion-making race, and yeah, good luck to him.
I thought maybe I expected a little bit more out of him the last 2, but then I've got a lot of time for He Who Dares. I thought the win at Wanganui really stamped this horse as a colt for the future, and he backed it up last time. So I think the form really will stick out.
The Matamata Breeders is the other race that we want to just give you a little look at. And of course, this was taken out by one of the key chances in the Sistema, La Dorada. The one thing we know about her, she's got toughness on her side, and she'll put herself right there and running.
Yeah, she did this day too, and she was good. You know, she's backing up on the win in the Kadaka Millions, and she was equally as brave because it wasn't a gimme. She had to really dig for her win, but I just love the way she kept going, particularly Leith over the final 100 metres.
Yeah, look, obviously she's run a little bit slower. It was just under a second slower, but she was never going to give in, wasn't she? She was tough. She puts the ears straight back. Look, I will say this is her 5th run up. I wouldn't doubt Tiakia, but I'm just got the colt on top.
Yeah, I thought it was a super performance. You can only keep on winning. To Capital had a really tough run at Trentham on debut. I thought that might have been flattened to Capital, but it backed up at Matamata. So, look, they're interesting form lines to analyse. But like, I think you always have to take a lead out of Tiaka, don't you? And they have been talking return to conquer for a long period of time.
They have, and they've had great success in this race previously. Well, let's get you to the track and to Sam Burgesson, and we want to know how La Dorada has done since that last run.
Yeah, really well. She's had a quiet week following that. She's just a tough, gritty little filly who seems to really thrive off the racing and the stable life. She's gone the right way, we think. Work here was good with Opie on this morning. So fingers crossed she can, keep that winning record going.
Return to Conquer was a close victor here a couple of weeks ago as well in the Matamata slipper. How's the horse done since then?
Yeah, another one we think's gone the right way since Matamata. Another one that's had the quiet week following the run. He's come through it really well, holding his weight good, doing everything we need to see there in the stable. And work was super this morning. The blinkers may go on Saturday just to sharpen up. We sort of kept them up our sleeve for the Group 1 assignment. And we think that'll sort of sharpen him up a bit as well. He's quite a laid-back fella that takes everything in his stride. So hopefully, that can give him a length or two there and another one that hopefully can keep up that winning record.
If you think he's gone well and he's heading in the right direction, well, the horse that nearly beat him and really pushed him is He Who Dares. So how's that runner coming along?
Yeah, he's good. He's obviously hasn't had as much experience as the other two we've just talked about. He's got plenty of upside. We think he's only going to get better at 3, but certainly deserves his chance at Group 1 there on Saturday. It's shaping up as a very, very interesting race. Hard to split the runners, but they're all going well.
Maricopa Falls finished 4th in the Breeders here as well last time to the races. So how's that horse done since?
Yeah, probably a little bit disappointing. We thought she'd be right in it and sort of weakened a little bit late there. She's come through the run really well. Work was super here this morning. We've just adjusted a bit of gear. The blinkers go on. And we're just going to take the noseband and the tongue tie off. So hopefully that sort of finds a little bit for her because she just probably needs to improve from the Matamata fit.
Yeah, it was a very good run for a first up 2-year-old as well. She got back and they walked and sprinted home, so it didn't really suit any of the back runners. So to finish 3rd, it was a big effort.
Trials were very good leading into that race. So how she bounced out of her first up run at Ellerslie and in preparation for a Group 1 now?
Well, she's just improving all the time, and I think that after this, I know after this Sistema that she'll have a rest and get ready for the Gold Trail Stakes, and from then on all the 3-odd fillies races. But she'll go nice races as long as she draws well and gets a little bit handier, I reckon, anyway.
Yeah, to Capital, she's going terrific. Her 2 runs have been great. Narrowly went down in the Breeders' last start. She's trained on very well since. The only question is whether she's quite as professional right-handed. I think a good draw will be key with her, but she's going great, work's been good, looks $1 million.
Okay, and Taylor the Gypsy?
Yeah, she's been plagued with bad draws, bit of bad luck. Sidewinkers go on, her work's been very good. Look, she'll be going in the, one of the outsiders of the field, I would have thought. But look, she's good. If she can draw a gate for the first time in her life, I think she can turn her form around.
Okay, it is a step up for them both, but what sort of hopes can you go into this race with?
Yeah, again, good draws. To Capital, look, she's won a stakes race first up. She's run second in the breeders behind potentially the best 2-year-old in the country. So she's got to be right in it. And Taylor the Gypsy, she just keeps on improving. She looks great and certainly worthy of a throw at the stumps.
Super happy, yeah. Vinny galloped in this morning and it doesn't say a lot, Vinny, but he was very happy with his work. So, yeah, looking forward to it.
Yeah, look, she's arrived really late on the scene. Obviously went to Ellerslie and quite a good field at Ellerslie too, just off the one barrier trial. Couldn't have really been more impressive. She's actually come through that race in great order. That experience around Ellerslie will hold her in good stead on Saturday. And look, her work this morning is exceptional. So yeah, look, she'll be in the race for a long way. And look, unusual for a filly like that just to come off a maiden into a Sistema, but she's definitely heading the right way.
I think it's been done before, but has she pleased you with everything that she's done in between?
Yeah, look, she's not an overly big filly, but just really professional. Obviously, her trial was very professional, and obviously she was good the other day after dwelting at the start a little bit as well. So, if she can put herself on speed and get the right trip, she'll be in the race for a long way.
Well, that's the word from the track. We now need the word from the panel. Bevan Sweeney, selections.
On with Team Te Akau, Emily returned to conquer on top from the filly La Dorada. He Who Dares, I think, is a really nice colt in the making, and I don't think Landlock was too bad late at Ellerslie last start.
Yeah, I thought we were going to see the real return to conquer this week. Blinkers on, they'll ride him a little bit quieter for hot tempo. Lola Palooza, bit hard, a bit of a mouthful, but I thought its first up run was really good. And from barrier one, good outsider to back in the field. He Who Dares, I think he's a really good horse up and coming, and Miss Siggy's been going really well as well.
Yeah, I'm going to go for the filly of Te Akau, La Dorada. I was impressed with her recent form, and I think she's going to be awfully hard to beat, but obviously the colt Return to Conquer is the one that's taking all the money at this stage, and he certainly has got stallion potential if he wins this race. Lucy in the Sky was good on debut for Tony Pike and the Cambridge Stud team. Wouldn't be surprised if she got some of it. And yeah, He Who Dares win a nice race last start too.
It certainly did. Well, let's get to the stayers. The 3,200 metres, the time-honoured Auckland Cup at Group 2 level. Here's a look at the fields in option 207, tab.co.nz to find these odds. And George, what do you make of the stayers? Is it a local victory or a raider?
Oh, look, there's a lot of money for Tejanis, isn't there? It was impressive the other day, winning over 2,400 metres. It's come across here. First look at Ellerslie, $4.40. It's where the money has gone. About Time was good last start. But, Blue Sky at Night won the Avondale Cup in the manner that suggests she's going to be tough to beat in the Cup as well.
She is, isn't she? Let's start with our replays, because I think that's a crucial starting point in terms of how we assess this race. And here's a look at the Avondale Cup. Blue Sky at Night was very, very good, going down just in behind, beating home About Time.
Well, what Blue Sky at Night's done, she's had 3 starts here for a win, and it was a very, very good ride by Taylor Mitchell. She got on her bike a little bit earlier, and look, About Time had every possible chance to get past it and couldn't. So, look, just going on this, I think the step up to 2 miles is probably going to suit Blue Sky at Night better than About Time.
Yeah, I agree. I think Blue Sky at Night, About Time had its chance the other day, over 2,400 metres, to keep Blue Sky at Night at bay. But Blue Sky at Night had her measure over the concluding stages. So, and I think the further they go, as you say, Leith, the more it'll come into the favour of Blue Sky at Night.
Absolutely agree. I think this just runs out 2 mile. I don't think there's any doubt about that, and George would know out of this particular stable. I thought the one unlucky and behind them was Lost Cause, who I thought was really good 2 starts ago, and actually really good in the New Zealand Cup, right down the bottom of the book, drawn the car park. But out of the ones just in behind the winner, I thought Lost Cause wasn't too bad.
No, exactly right. The other replay we want to have a little look at is Tejanis, who of course brings that Australian form. If you're wondering who the horse is, where it's come from, trained by Chris Waller, right in the market. And this was a very impressive staying effort, Bevan.
Yeah, I love watching this replay because the horse has got an interesting way of going, Emily, as you commented when we were rewatching this, but it wasn't overdoing it in the run. And Jet kept up a very strong gallop to the line. It can stay clearly. Chris Waller, Michael McNair.
He's really got the English style of action, hasn't he? He's big, strong. You really think this is his first time over 2 miles. But obviously Chris, as we all know, is a champion trainer and he's set him for this race a long way out as well.
Yeah, he has, and of course racing in the famous colours of Albert Bosma and the team at Go Racing. So, yeah, it's got all the money following it, and yeah, it looks as though it's going to be a live chance as well.
Certainly does. Speaking of Tejanis, let's hear from the stable representative and find out how the horse has travelled over.
Yeah, so Tejanis arrived on Sunday evening, and I rode him yesterday morning. It was his first morning here, and he's travelled over really well. He seems happy and bright. He's a pretty well-travelled horse. So, yeah, it hasn't been a problem.
How can you tell he's settled and bright?
He's eating up, he's happy, he's calm, relaxed. He's just taking everything in well, so, yeah.
So he had a bit of work this morning. Tell us about the work and what was hoped for?
Yeah, so it's just a nice, relaxed gallop. Keep him on the bridle without doing too much. Just, he's as fit as he's going to be, so just keep him ticking over before Saturday.
Yeah, really happy. He come through his Avondale Cup run really well. Really full of himself, bright, bouncing around. Look, we can't fault him. Really happy heading into Saturday.
Okay, so you ran last time to the races in the Avondale Cup. Were you happy enough with what you saw there?
Yeah, he probably just cost himself a little bit. Like he lugged, didn't he? Really tried to find the rail, and it was quite a difficult ride for Jasmine. Couldn't really, he just had to kind of steer him off hocks and stuff like that. But look, if he runs straight, he would have been riding it. No doubt, but yeah, look, he's come. Like I said, he's come through the run well. So fingers crossed he runs straight this weekend, and I think he could be a chance.
Yeah, interesting runner. We think he's going to love the 3200. We've obviously gone a bit between runs there as well, sort of the European style, which we think hopefully he'll enjoy. He's by Galileo. He should love the trip. Everything he shows us, he's very one pace, and he just wants to get over ground. So I thought he trialled really well in that group enlisted trial. Obviously, well short of his best, but showed a bit of cheek and. Work was good here with Harkonnen, so fingers crossed he can, at the nice lightweight, he can show a bit of cheek and be up and in it.
Going good, just taking a different sort of a path with him. He ran in the New Zealand Cup, he ran in the Wellington Cup, he's got good residual fitness, decided not to run him in the Avondale Cup. Keep the work up to him, he's been out to the beach, we're just playing around, he'll go over the jumps again tomorrow. I don't think he's got I don't think you'll see him at Cheltenham next year, but, just sort of sparks him up. He loves Ellerslie, he's fit, and I think sort of having him almost fresh into a 2 mile at Ellerslie might be the key.
I guess that you've had to sort of try something different with him, but the one thing that you do know about him is that he can stay.
Can certainly stay. I thought his last start was really good at Wellington. It's not a real hard 2 mile at Auckland, and he does love the track, so if he can posse up, go to sleep, he's got to be a chance.
Oh, really good. She came through that run probably best she has all prep, actually. Yeah, she just pulled up in great order and she's eaten and done everything right since.
How much work have you done with her on the training track since?
Not tons. I mean, she's coming up for her 8th start of the campaign, and so she's got race fitness on her side and she's pretty clean-winded, so she'll either stay or she won't, yeah.
She's proven over 2,400 metres. What a Waikato Cup and Avondale Cup. What about the extra distance of the Auckland Cup? What are you thinking?
I'm hoping it's not going to be an issue. I mean, she's got a good 2 miler further back in her pedigree. Soldier Blue is a very good horse. She's just, she settles beautifully in the run and whatnot. So she's got as good a chance as any of them.
Yeah, just looking at her after her work this morning, she's relaxed. She's taken into her stride, not blowing one little bit. She looks a very fit horse, Shelley. Can you comment?
Yeah, no, she's very fit, very well, and she's real happy. That's the main thing. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly right. She'll either stay or she won't. You know the drill by now. Let's get the selections. Bevan?
I was taken by Tejanis in that last start win. 53 kilos from a good gate. Like, you need to be a genius to map this, but I think all things being equal, that will get a perfect run into this race. Blue Sky at night, I respect Shelley Hale's training abilities and the toughness of this horse. It'll run 2 miles. You can make a case that Trav should have won the Wellington Cup, missed it by 10, got beaten 2.5. A really good staying horse, and I went with Interpretation. I mentioned Lost Cause. I should have also mentioned Interpretation, who was really unlucky in that replay we showed. And it's like a quality horse, but 59 and a 32 mile, 3,200 metre event is tough.
Yeah, hey, we've seen outsiders win this race a number of times, and I like the each way value around Blue Sky's night. 14s and 4. Look, there is that little bit of a question mark getting to the 2 miles, but I think the way she hit the line last start over 2,500 metres, I've got her on top. Look, I think Tejanis, like, you got Chris Waller factor, 53 kilos, Michael McNabb on, got to be hard to beat. I thought Son of Sun was a little bit unlucky last time. I've got him in for 3rd, and like you said, Trav, he was massive in the Wellington Cup. But field of 18, I could see an upset for sure in this race.
Yeah, look, I'm going to go for number one interpretation. I'm just thinking if I'm driving home after the race as Champions Day on Saturday and a Kieran Maher horse, trained horse, ridden by Blake Shin has won the Auckland Cup and I'm not on, I'll get upset. So that's my reasoning behind it. And to be fair, it wasn't a bad run the last time in the Avondale Cup. Got denied a run at about the 200 metres. So I'm a huge Blue Sky at Night fan as well. A Son of Sun is a forgotten horse and about time. It's racing so consistently, must be a chance.
Well, that covers off our stayers. The Auckland Cup done and dusted. We're going to get you off to a break, but on the back of that, stick with us because it's all about the sprinters. We tackle the King's Plate.
Alabama Lass still in front. Crescetti's coming after it, coming with a lever on. It's Alabama Lass and Crescetti. They hit it. Crescetti right on the line from Alabama Lass.
I was so confident, not taking anything away from the winner at Trentham. I was so confident of winning the Telegraph. Friday night I went to bed happy. Saturday morning I woke up like this and disaster. But he come back and he's just... I've had the luxury this week of backing off him. He's just done so well and he's just a super horse.
It's absolutely, it means the world, you know. Everyone knows that Daniel was instrumental in getting me here. Crescetti and I have got a fantastic bond. Jeez, boy, did he attack that line? He wanted to win. The old Crescetti's back for sure.
It means a lot. He's had an up and down season, Crescetti, this year, and just a minute, he really tried hard. He tried his guts out, he stretched out, the neck came out, and he just wanted to win. And when he's in that mood, nothing stops him.
So sweet and innocent, the story never ends. Woke up and now I think I'm too.
I'm hoping the weather conditions aren't like that on Saturday. It wouldn't have mattered to Daniel Narkley and the team because they got the Group 1 honours with Crescetti, and the King's Plate is looming as a really good race on the card on Saturday. Let's talk about the market to kick things off. Small field but select field. We've got Crescetti at 330. We've got Alabama Lass as the favourite at 2s. We also have Babylon Berlin and Sacred Satono in the single figures. Let's talk replays, and we start with Crescetti and Alabama Lass, so having the Quinella at Ellerslie on a very rainy night. Talk me through the run and what you made of it.
Yeah, well, what you don't see is how much rain came down for 2 races, and I think both horses were actually unsuited by the track, even though they ran 110.2. I feel if we get a firmer track this week, they're going to be in that 1.9 sort of 1.9.5. And look, for both of them to run first and second and have that such a small margin, I can see them probably drawing out and winning, one of them winning again, but by winning by 2 or 3 lengths.
Yeah, I agree. Look, it was a brave effort. He just wore... Crescetti just wore Alabama Lass down over the concluding stages. She was really game in the in the final 100 metres, but he was just a bit bigger, but tougher, and he'd been to the big dances a few times as well. So it was a wonderful result, and I'm still reckon Daniel Narkley's thinking, well, was it raining that night? He wouldn't have had any idea.
He just looked like a bit of a bully late, didn't he? Looked like a man against a little girl late in that particular race. And I take nothing away from Alabama Lass. I just don't know how to weigh up those track conditions, how they affected each horse's performances. But there's another half a kilo between them on Saturday. Does that make a difference? Better track, she'll jump and run. She's lightning quick. Look, it was painful because I was all in on Alabama Lass, Emily, but I was just as happy to see Crescetti win that day.
Well, let's get you to the track. And, of course, Crescetti was at Ellerslie on Monday. Let's find out how he worked.
Yeah, no, he worked really, really nice. He hit out well on the nice firm grass. That's how he likes it, and it was nice work.
How's he trained on since the railway win?
Oh, good. He had a week off after the railway, and he's just pinged along since, and he's happy in his work. Yeah.
What are your expectations on Saturday?
Oh, look, they're never easy, those sprint races at the moment. Alabama Lass is going to be hard to beat, but we're in it with the show.
No, very good, Brendan. She had that exhibition gallop on 5 weeks of 10 races. So we elected to give her an exhibition gallop here at Matamata on Saturday, and I thought she worked enormous.
So she's in a good spot then and ready for that next clash with Crescetti?
Yeah, she is. You know, she, as I say, her exhibition map was very good, and then she's worked really nice this morning, so she's in a good space.
A mare or filly at the moment that sort of operates well under that good spacing of races?
Yeah, she does. There's not a lot of her, you know, and she's sort of, I wouldn't say she's delicate, but she's typical 3-year-old filly, and she likes those races space.
Yeah, very well. Yep, she trolled up nice last week, and yeah, she's doesn't need to do a lot else, but yeah, she's jumping out of her skin.
Yeah, we know she's got a bit of an attitude. Is she showing that this week?
Yeah, she is. Yep, she's very grumpy at the moment, but she's super well, and yeah, Vinny was really happy with her trial last week. So yeah, it's another race that suits her well. Set weights and penalties.
Yeah, it sounds like obviously a couple of class horses in there with Crescetti and Alabama Lass, but she might be in a position where she could sort of take this race by the scruff of the neck. Have you thought about taking this yet?
Yeah, well, obviously we leave that to Vinny on the day, but she went really well in the railway as well. Probably just that little bit of rain and the inside being off didn't help, but we should get a good track on Saturday, and I suppose we'll discuss tactics, but at the end of the day, it's up to Vinny.
Yeah, one thing when we were at the better weights, you were able to lower the colours of Crescetti earlier on. Is that something you're sort of thinking of?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, no, we'll definitely be going into it with confidence. It's a race that she's won before by a good margin as well, and yeah, she gets in on the minimum, and there's no reason why she can't beat him.
Really looks like a two-horse war, doesn't it? The Kings play Crescetti and Alabama Lass going head-to-head once again. Selections time, and Bevan, what have you got?
I'm going again with Alabama Lass. I just hope it's a bit better track conditions. I think she's just a lot better on top of the ground. Over a wonder horse in Crescetti, he could win again. I think that's a two-horse war in my mind. Sacred Satano's going nicely. Babylon Balloon is a very good mare as well, but I think the top two really do stand out.
They really sort of picked themselves. So I can see one of those two, well, both those two actually drawing out and putting 3 or 4 margin on the third place horse. I'm going to go Alabama Lass just on top. I think if she gets strikes at better footing, and I think I just have a map to sit outside the leader where Crescetti might just be that one spot back. Look, I think Babylon Berlin, she deserves a spot there, and Seiko Sotano, he doesn't have to improve too much on his last couple of runs.
Yeah, not being overly brave. I'm with the filly as well, Alabama Lass, just ahead of Crescetti. Once again, it pains me to say that because Crescetti's one of my favourites. I don't write off Babylon Berlin. If the other two are too busy watching each other, Babylon Berlin sneaks away on the home turn. She could beat them, especially in the weights in the race. And Sacred Satano for first 4 players, but Alabama Lass on top.
Could be a big evening for the Kelso team. All right, let's stick with the selections theme and we'll get to best bets. Bevan, start with you.
Nothing if not consistent. Emma, I'm going with Alabama Lass. A lot of respect around Crescetti, but the $2 intrigues me. Hopefully we get maybe something extra out of the leg up boys. Evaporate, his form just stands out for me. 270, getting short enough, but I think he's a very, very good horse. And Lost Cause in the Cup, I think this horse is much better than a $27 shot with a bit of luck.
You've picked my horses, Bevan. It's great to see. Alabama Lass, I've got her on top as well. I think she might just change the tables. She gets in that half a kilo better at the weights. El Vincedor, I think just around Ellerslie, as much as it pains me, or Keshaw, I love her, I think El Vincedor over 2,000 metres, he's hard fit. And I think Blue Sky at night, she's great value at $14 and $4 a place. If she sees out that 2 mile in an open 2 mile race, I think she's great value.
My best bet of the night is in the NZB Kiwi. It's Damask Rose. I think just the way this race stacks up from her barrier draw, she's going to sit back, smoking her pipe. She'll get the last run at them as she did in the Karaka Millions last start. So I think at $8, she's a wonderful bet. All the respect around Evaporate, of course, but Damask Rose, my best bet on Champions Day. Next best bet is in race 6. I'm tipping Orchestral over EV. It pains me to say that. And yeah, you just have to respect the Karen Ma and Blake Shin combination with interpretation in the Auckland Cup. If it wins at $10 and you're not on, don't blame me.
It's going to be a huge Saturday, isn't it, on track? Got one last question before we let you all go. What are you most looking forward to on Saturday?
I was going to say, Lethanus is dancing at the after party after the last, but for me, I'm at New Plymouth, so I just enjoy watching all the coverage that's coming out. There's a team of thousands there. I think Brit's coming over as well, so I'll just sit back and watch all the great action now at Ellerslie.
I think just the concept and the build-up of it, this has been making for 2 years for Ellerslie, Entane. Look, the club have done a great job as well, and they've got high-class horses here, world-class jockeys, and stake money.
I just hope that I'm driving home on Saturday evening after Ellerslie, Champions Day, thinking that was a wonderful day of racing, I'm sure, and the commentator didn't stuff it up too much.
It's a day we can be incredibly proud of at Champions Day. The countdown is on, the previews are done. We're looking forward to being part of it.
Group 1 racing, the pinnacle of our sport. Group 1s are the platform from which the future thoroughbred heroes announce themselves.
Alamosa with the best run you've ever seen got the prize.
Where superstars are unearthed.
Excellent, ranged up on the outside. Oh, he is a superstar.
And where the extraordinary become immortal.
Ring the bell, Melody's back in town, and that is 14 Group 1s, the all-time greatest Group 1 winner.
These races don't just honour history, they redefine it.
Ginger Nuts has dumped them in the derby.
For equine athletes, masterful trainers, and fearless jockeys, this is the ultimate test, a rare stage, a fleeting chance at glory. But on Saturday at Ellerslie, 4 races bear the coveted Group 1 status. Speed.
It's Return to Conquer in front.
Determination.
She's back in the winning groove, orchestral.
Stamina.
El Vencedor, he's got another Group 1 at Ellerslie.
Class.
And she is back and back big time class.
4 qualities needed for victory. 4 races to be decided. 1 unforgettable Champions Day.